Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be discussing my husband Eric's immigration case thus far. Right now we are at the point where we have a immigration appointment in Juarez for his visa, and it's taken, I want to say, 3 years to get here, and I just kind of wanted to talk back of how it all started and kind of share a little bit more information as to that. So if you guys are interested in today's video, please keep on watching.
So I'm gonna do a little bit of talking so that I can catch you guys pretty much up to speed with my case. And if you guys are watching this, thank you guys for being interested in my situation and our status. So basically, I got married to Luz about 4 years ago, and I have daca. So I came here to the United States. I don't really remember how I got here, but I've had daca since the age of 16, and I've never let it expired. So I haven't accrued any unlawful presence here in the United States. Technically, I have a legal status here. So the reason that I'm applying for this visa is because I want to be a citizen eventually, and having daca makes it harder for me to go to school. It makes it harder for me to seek other opportunities that some other people that are citizens, are able to get. So I want to get over that barrier. So that's why we're doing this. Luz is gonna break down to you guys pretty much the time frame and the timeline, so that you guys know what you guys need to look for. So she has all that detail. So I'll let her take over from here. But I did just want to let you guys know.
So him having daca is really important to our case, because do remember, every case is different. Of course, we haven't been to Juarez yet, so we don't know what's going to be there. But till this point, we are on July 30th. Today is July 30th, and our appointment is in
August
a week
9th.
from now.
So my appointment is August 9th. But we need to leave next week, Wednesday.
So Wednesday the 4th of August, we will be in Juarez.
Yeah.
So how did we get this far is, originally me and Eric got married in September of 2017. We waited 6 months before we started the process of me petitioning Eric as a U.S. citizen for him to be able to get his visa. I do want to say, people say it's very easy for U.S. citizens to be married and fix somebody papers. That has not been the case for us at all. I genuinely did think it was going to be super simple, and it hasn't. It's been 3 years since we initiated everything. So our first petition was the I-130, and we did that in March of 2018. So that was 6 months after we got married. That one took about 6 months, I want to say, to be able to come back to us. Everything they do ask for that one is pretty much just proof of marriage, which in our case, we had already been living together for a year prior to us even getting married. So we did have our house.
I thought it was like 2 years.
No.
Maybe a year.
Yeah, we had only been living together for a year, and I think, I don't know if that helped at all, because we don't have kids, so we don't have anything really to, that we share other than our home. So
I'm pretty sure it definitely helped, because we were living together. It's kind of like you're committed to that relationship. I think maybe that helped, because it definitely asked for like pictures and all that stuff, proof basically.
Yeah. They asked us for
that
bills.
We knew each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they asked us for bills. They asked us for taxes. They asked us for a lot of things that would have had both of us combined. But keep in mind, guys, even before we were married, I did have him under my insurance, so he was already like a domestic partner for me, even before we even lived together. So like that helps your case too. So just a lot of stuff. The I-130 is probably the most hard paperwork to get together, because that's the proof. That's where you're telling them we are.
That's like the first big step, I guess.
Yeah. So that one did took around 6 months for them to get back to us. We went through a lawyer. Like I guess I should have said that we started getting a lawyer. A lot of people decide to not go through one, but we just wanted to be sure that everything was going to be good for us. So we did get a lawyer. This lawyer was recommended by the family. I guess he's a family lawyer.
Yeah, he's a family lawyer. So my mom has used him in the past, and basically since since I was young, I don't even know, like, I think since 2012.
16. You were 16.
I was 16. So since my first DACA, they're the ones that basically helped me get my initial DACA. So they knew my paper trail. So we decided to stick with the family lawyer. However, I don't want to put out any lawyer name or anything like that, but I think that was one of the biggest mistakes personally that I think we made, because it honestly
delayed.
has been a nightmare, I can say. One, it delayed our case significantly by the staff that worked there, and
Communication
was really poor, and with COVID and everything, that just made it even worse. So I think our case could have been, it probably would have been simple if we would have gone maybe a different route. So I think that's the only thing that I would have changed. But I'm grateful, at least up to this point, that, even though we've encountered a lot of roadblocks, at least we're at the point where we have an appointment. So I can't be too upset, because at the end of the day,
They got us here.
they got us
regardless.
here, but it just was a hassle. So
Backtracing a little bit, after we did get the I-130 approved, you kind of get a notice saying that it's been approved, and it kind of tells you what else you need. Technically, after the I-130 comes in a waiver. So a waiver is a perdón, which is you pretty much saying or asking for a pardon of being in the United States illegally for after the age of 18. So our lawyer told us that we did need that, even though Eric had DACA. So we went in, she told us everything that we were going to need, and it took us about two, almost 3 months to be able to gather everything, because the amount of paperwork they ask from you is a lot. They ask for friend letters, pretty much saying that they knew us as a couple, and I had to see the doctor because I do suffer from anxiety, and they did tell me.
basically, going into that, basically what it was is a pardon, and basically what they want is for me to show that if I were to be, detained in Mexico,
How it would affect me.
how it would affect her, what kind of hardships she would go through. So basically, the letters had to be written in a way that showed that I was a good person, and if I were not with her, she would
I would be
suffer,
affected.
like financially, like emotionally, basically any hardship. It would have to be written in those letters. So it took a while, and it really needed to be a specific way. So
I had to see. I mean, my
yeah,
psychiatrist
she
had
had
to give
a.
me copies,
It was
and
just
psychiatrists usually don't like to give you this
Yeah.
information, so that was really tough.
it's like very personal
I had to
information.
see my medical doctor and get proof from them of medication that I was currently taking, and it just took a very lengthy amount of time. So after months of gathering everything, and if you're watching this and you did make letters for us, I genuinely do appreciate everything you guys did, because it was a lot that we were asking
Some of our
for.
friends are gonna watch this and they're gonna say, that we didn't use those letters, but that's not the case. I'm still taking all that
Yeah, we're
with
still
me,
taking it with us to Juarez, but
just in case.
at the end of the day, we gathered everything. We went in for an appointment again with our attorney, and she pretty much said, "Well, you guys didn't need it."
Yeah,
Like,
and I was
her,
furious.
Her words were, "Why are we doing the perdón again? Like, you don't need it. You
Yeah.
have DACA, and you've had
She
DACA
was, like,
since you were 18,
confused.
16." And that's when everything kind of just went downhill.
From
From
there.
that moment forward, everything just went
Yeah.
downhill. It became a mess. I guess we weren't really with the lawyer. We were using the paralegal. We went in with the lawyer, but they assigned the paralegal to help us, and she was really rude with me. You can only see it from my point of view. I was just very much stressed, and she was not
Her
helping.
tone of voice was
She wasn't
very
helping. She would make me
aggressive,
feel
I
like I
guess.
was dumb. I didn't know what I was doing. I would just do a lot of research because it was a lot
Yeah.
going on, and I just wanted him to have the best case scenario and just get it over with. So
But-
after time and time, she ended up saying, "You guys don't need it. So cancel everything you've been working on for the last 3 months." So that's 3 months that we wasted.
It was a waste of time. Aside from getting all those wonderful letters that my friends wrote to me, it was really just a waste of time, waste of her time, waste of my time, waste of my friends' times. We had to leave early from work for her appointments, for me to, get all the documents. So I basically was getting ready to leave that lawyer at that point, and then they basically didn't want to give me my money back, and we're not gonna go into detail, but
It got very intense.
it got very aggressive from both sides. So
Yeah.
we sat down, we talked it out, and I ended up staying with them because they didn't want to give me any of my money back. And the amount of money I paid is gonna be different from what you guys pay, so I won't even tell you guys how much I paid. But but yeah, so then we continued forward, knowing that we didn't trust them already. We already had
We were already in that.
those
we don't
doubts
trust
from that,
the practice.
Yeah.
And after that, they pretty much submitted something through NVC. I genuinely don't remember what it was called, but after a short amount of time, we got a letter from NVC saying that pretty much there was a visa ready. And it's like a welcome letter from NVC saying that it's ready and that you can start uploading stuff.
It's like your portal to upload your documents.
So it's pretty much they go in there and they put in everything. So like they asked us for like his school stuff from since he was a baby, from like elementary school, doctor's visits, his grades from when he was like younger, his home addresses that he ever lived in since he's been in the United States. They asked us for so many
basically
things.
everything, and then a lot of this information, like, it was hard for me to track down because it's been years, guys. It's been so many years. You lose
so much stuff, but luckily his
but
mom had a lot of this stuff ready. So we were able to get that stuff. I mean, it still took some time because, I mean, going back and forth, like looking for stuff, it took time. They do ask you for all of your taxes again. So if you are married and you're looking to do this, do file together because they will question every single thing.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've been married for 4 years and we've always started to file together as soon as we got married. So that's helped us out a lot. After that, after you submit everything through NVC, that's what has taken us so much longer because COVID happened. So they had received everything. I got a letter back saying that everything has been accepted, but that the case was going to be sent to NVC. And COVID happened and they were closed. They closed all 2020.
Yeah, they closed basically for a year. But let's backtrack a little bit. Before I don't even know really the time frame, maybe you can help me, but basically we reached out to the lawyer because it's been a while since we had heard from the visa center, right? So then she reached out to the lady that was being rude and messed up basically her whole case. She reached out to her asking her, hey, is there any updates? And apparently they either were missing information and the visa center was waiting for the lawyer to respond with that missing information, but the lawyer or the attorney or paralegal had no idea that they were requesting missing information.
I had totally forgot that, but you're right. So when they made the case, she asked for 2 emails. So she put her email and she put mine, and I received an email saying that there was corrupted
files or something.
So pretty much when they were scanned in or uploaded, they were either too big or they just weren't good copies of it. And so then I called, and I did call, and I do remember this is kind of where the argument started again, because I guess I pronounced the lawyer's name incorrectly. So instead of her going based off of where they needed to fix the stuff, she started correcting my error of spelling. So okay, it was dumb of my part, but the important part was that you guys are needing to update this information, and she didn't quite respond the best way. So then we again got the attorney there involved, and after this, moving forward, every time I would send an email to her directly, I had to CC the lawyer himself so she could get back to me, because there was just no communications. At this time, the office had really bad phone systems. It would either ring forever or they just would go to voicemail and you couldn't get a hold of anybody unless
it was like impossible to get a hold of them.
And it was far from our house. By the time we were out of work, they were closed, so we just couldn't get in there with them.
But after all that, like I said, we struggled a lot, and that's not gonna be the case with you. So I don't want to scare you guys.
Not.
So
do
your research. Yeah, do your research. Look for a good lawyer if you're gonna use a lawyer, and I would recommend for you guys to look for a lawyer, because even now, up to this point, like 5 days before our trip, there is still information that is needed, and you know,
we had no clue.
We had no clue. Even our lawyer had no clue. But there we go again, right? So I don't want to dedicate this video
talking
to the lawyer.
about, but the I just want to stress
It's
how
so
important it is for you to get a good lawyer. Use somebody that actually has good reviews. Don't just go with anybody.
Don't say, oh, hey, my friend, I have a friend that does this, or I have somebody that does it cheaper. It's at this point, it's your whole life, so money shouldn't be a factor in it. I mean, it should, but it shouldn't be the main thing that you go off of, because at the end of the day, if you're doing this for your significant other, are you gonna want to save that extra $2,000, or are you gonna want to have them next to you? Because if something goes wrong, you're gonna be stuck in Mexico. There's no way of you coming back,
once you're there.
So you need to have all your documentation before you cross that border, because once you cross it, there's no way for you to come back unless you are approved. So I want to stress that to you guys. It's very important to have all that documentation, to have everything ready before you go to Juarez. So where are we right now?
So right now we are at COVID time.
Yeah, COVID time.
It took about, I want to say, a year. For a whole year, we did not reach out to the abogados because we didn't need to. We knew that COVID was closed. We knew it was closed because of COVID. But you just kind of just get tired of waiting. Like, at this point, we've already been married for 3 years. And I was already like, why is it taking so long? Like, it just didn't make sense in my head why it was taking forever. So I reached out to the office and I said, hey, it's been over a year and I know we haven't communicated, but I wanted to get an update to see if there's anything else going on, if we can maybe get something moving faster. At that time, I did ask if there was any way that Eric could get a parole to go to Mexico. He does have family out in Mexico, so I was like, maybe we can say that your grandma's sick and go out over there. And kid you not, guys, this happened about 2 months ago. So the fact that we're here right now, I do think played a big factor in me actually sending a letter or an email to the NBC. But anyways, I called the lawyers. They said that could be something that we can do, but that it was going to take time. So I kind of just left it at that. And then I think, 2 weeks after that, Eric was asking me something about it. So then I called him back again and I was like, hey, is there any updates? Like, at this point I was just getting anxious about it more again. So they were like, there's no updates. They're still closed. They're not making any appointments. So I went onto the NBC website and I saw that you can actually send them an email requesting information. So I was at work and I was just at my lunch break and I was just thinking, I am just so tired of waiting and the lawyers aren't going to do anything. So I sent them an email. I did say pretty much they ask you for all of the information, I think it's a CEA number and it's his case immigration number. And I filled it out and I said, hey, it's been over a year and a half and we haven't heard anything back. If I can get a response back, that would be appreciated.
Just an update, basically, your status.
And on there, it does say that it can take up to 30 days for them to send you something. Kid you not, I sent this email on July 2nd. Okay, we're on July 30th. July 2nd, I sent the email. They were so behind with their emails. And this Monday that just passed, Monday, what was it, the 26th?
I don't even know. My days are all messed up because we've been so stressed out.
So stressed out. I think it was Monday the 26th. Yeah. I got an email from the NBC saying that, congratulations, your interview has been set up for the consulate in Juarez. This is the time that you have to show up and this is what you need to bring in with you. I got this email right after lunch. At 1 p.m. I received this email and I was about to enter a meeting and my heart just dropped. I got out of the email because I got out of the meeting because I was not going to be able to sit through this meeting. I went into a patient room and I called Eric. And what did you think when I called you?
I was like, what's going on? Who crashed? What happened?
Is everything okay?
Is everything okay? Because she normally doesn't call me because she knows
especially when we're at work.
She knows that I'm busy and I know she's busy. So, so she called me and then, she called me and then I saw the email and I was like.
So right before I called him, I forwarded him the email and then I called him a minute later and I was like, hey, have you seen your emails? And he's like, no, what happened? And I was like, you have an appointment scheduled. And I was genuinely freaking out. I was how in the world the appointment was scheduled at that time for 2 weeks and like 4 days away.
Was it 2 weeks? I thought it was a week and a half. It was like 2 weeks, because we got notified on Monday. So then
So technically it is 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So we got a 2 week notice of when he has to show up. But before you go to your interview, there's a lot of process that needs to be done, which brings us to where we are at now. I got that email, and in the email it does say like, this is the time, this is the day that you need to show up, and this is what you need. But it does say you can also reschedule. And my thought was like, damn,
it's too soon. Like,
this appointment, like, we have to ask permission from work. Like, how are you even gonna make this happen? And like, worst case scenario comes to my mind right away. So then I told Eric, and he's like, we're not rescheduling. He's like, we've already waited this long, which we've waited over 3 years. He's like, we've already waited this long. There's no way we're gonna reschedule.
Yeah, and then we're another reason we're not rescheduling is COVID is starting to get bad again. If we reschedule, it's a possibility that they might close again. So I don't want to waste another year. I don't want to delay anything. So I basically told my job, hey, I have this interview. I'm not asking for permission. I'm letting you know. I won't be here.
Yeah,
and
it's very important. Like, we knew this day would come. Like, every job that I've had within the last 3 years, first thing I would tell them was, I am currently petitioning my husband, so it might happen where I have to leave. But I never expected to have to leave within a week or two. Yeah. I always thought it was going to be about a month and a half notice.
Or maybe like 2 or 3 months to get all the stuff needed.
I just didn't think it was going to be so fast. Yeah. So this brings us to Friday, guys. So I got the email Monday. So since Monday, me and Eric have been running around with like chickens without... chicken without heads, literally. So as soon as that happened, Eric said, we're keeping the appointment. I called the lawyers right away. Of course, they didn't answer me. They said they were going to take a message. Tuesday comes along. They still haven't called me back. I called back again. Because at this time, I'm freaking out. Like, how am I going to leave to Mexico, like, in a few days? So I just started doing research on YouTube and looking up
At that point, it was actually a week and a half notice.
It's been this week.
Because it was this week. So we got notified Monday. So then Tuesday came around. Wednesday was going to be exactly a week from when we had to leave Mexico.
Right.
So technically, it was only a week and like
a few days.
3 days of notice from this notification. So Luz called, right? And they couldn't get a hold of her. They couldn't even get any information. So they told us to make an appointment, basically.
So I called back Tuesday because nobody called me back Monday. I called back Tuesday and I said, hey, I'm calling because, once again, my husband has an appointment in Juarez within the next week and a half, and I need advice. And the person who answered the phone said, let me see if I can get a hold of somebody in the office. He called. They took about 10 minutes, I want to say, to come back on the line. He said, you know what, a paralegal is in an appointment right now. She cannot speak to you. But I was instructed to schedule you an appointment for tomorrow. So the appointment was scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. So then, of course, I said, fine, that's perfectly fine. I told Eric, I was like, hey, our appointment is at this time, so we have to leave work early because we have this appointment. I was thinking this appointment was going to be super useful and that we were going to have at least interview questions for Eric. They were going to give me all the paper copies that I needed. Because for your immigration appointment or before you do leave to Juarez, you do need copies of like your DS 260, which is like everything that was submitted to that NBC website. Every single thing that was submitted, you have to take with you. You also need to take a confirmation appointment card with you,
which is your email that you get.
And then they also send you the confirmation of the DS. After you fill it out, there's a confirmation sheet with barcodes. That is very important for you to take also. During this time, I was just like thinking they're gonna have everything for us. Wednesday comes along, we go into the appointment, get out of work early, and it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. We were rushed. I had been doing so much research. I think at this point I knew more than what the
I think it felt like we knew more than the people that were working there, because we would ask questions and they would be like, oh, I wasn't aware, or like, oh, no, you should be fine up to this point.
I don't know. I mean, maybe because I was stressing out, or because I'm the one that's in the case right now, it's a lot easier for you to judge when you're on the opposite side. But I would ask questions, and it was either like, oh no, like just brush it off, like it's nothing. So
Like my case is simple. It won't be a
that's
big
what they
issue.
keep telling Eric, like your case is simple, like it's
Yeah.
fine. But I'm like, regardless, we're still traveling out, and that's what scares me, that we're leaving the United States. Like that's what scares me. Of course I can come back, but like my husband is gonna be there too, you know, so like that's what scares me. So either way, she did not have copies printed for me. She showed us copies of what they did have, and guys, the passport photos they submitted, you couldn't see nothing.
It was completely
black.
pitch
You
black.
couldn't see nothing.
No
You couldn't
face,
see any
nothing.
information.
And I'm like, that really pissed me off because I'm like, you guys are supposed to be professionals. I can do better copies at my office, for different things. And I'm like, you send this legal document over to them. No wonder there was a freaking delay. Like, you can't even see who this passport is for. Like,
yeah, you couldn't tell if it was
like-
his or mine.
like it was such a poor quality, job that was done. And this was from that lady that that we had
the
an
original
issue.
person, because she ended up leaving the practice. I
Or who
believe.
knows? Maybe she got fired.
So the person that we met with on Wednesday was not the same lady that we had been with. So
Yeah.
this was a new person. We had never met her. This was our first time meeting her. I did have a few questions. A few of them got answered. They did give him some useful information. They pretty much told him don't talk to anybody at the consulate. They're going to give you like a medical exam. And the only useful thing that came out of this appointment was that they did schedule his biometric appointment, which is his fingerprints, and they scheduled us to pick up his visa at that same location.
Yeah, for them to send the visa there, like they set up the mailing address.
Because
Basically,
you do need an address to be able to pick it up. If you live in Mexico, they can mail it to you, or if you're there, you can go and pick it up at that same location where you do your fingerprints. So that was Wednesday. I had to go back on Thursday after work because they didn't have the copies for me, and I don't live nor work near that office, so I had to travel out to be able to get this copy. And at this time, guys, his job is not very being cooperative with.
Yeah, my job was not happy. They're gonna lose me for who knows, maybe 3 weeks. Short notice, so they're trying to find coverage for me.
Which, I mean, we understand coming from like a business perspective, but like this is so important. There is no way we cannot do it, and so it's just been a lot of stress this couple days. Like yesterday was horrible, and then yesterday.
Well, yeah, let's talk about Thursday now, okay?
So
Thursday
yesterday,
this week.
I, for some reason, after the appointment on Wednesday, I still had questions, and honestly, we felt like we were being rushed out because she had another appointment. So then Wednesday, I called 2 times.
Thursday.
No, it was still Wednesday because we were at the junkyard, and I was making phone calls.
Oh,
So
okay.
I called back and I asked. I was like, I do see that people say you need a carta de no antecedentes penales. So I was like, is this something that Eric is going to need? Once again, the office didn't answer, so I left a message. Later on, they call me back and they say, well, he might actually need this, but let me get back to you. So then they didn't get back to me that day. The next day, they call me back and they're like, oh, you know what? Eric does need this letter. He is going to need it. And I'm like,
let's just pause here. So this is Thursday.
we're leaving Wednesday.
All right, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. These are business days, so these places are not open Saturday and Sunday, so those are just a waste of time. So Thursday,
they called me around 10 and they said he is going to need this letter. And if you look on the website, technically this is something that you have to get in Mexico if you're currently living in Mexico. So
over the age of 18.
And
That's
over
important.
6 months.
Over 6 months and over the age of 18.
So at this
and that
time,
doesn't apply to me because technically I wasn't 18 when
But then
when
we
I was in
don't.
Mexico.
But
But
then
we
we're
don't
not
really,
sure.
we don't know for sure yet.
And we're here on Friday and we
still don't know for sure.
So anyway, she calls me and she tells me he is going to need this letter, and I pretty much, at this point, I don't know what to do. So I was like, can you guys help me out? I was like, is there any way you guys can make like a letter saying that, hey, you know what, Eric never lived in Mexico for more than 6 months after the age of 18. So for that reason, he does not have any criminal history because he was 7 when he came to the United States. They didn't want to do that for me. At this point, I kind of started freaking out a little bit because I did research, and to get it here in Arizona, you need fingerprints and you need your license and you need you need to pay. However, we're on Thursday and it was already getting late. So I started calling around, I started looking around, and I found a guy who does work from his house that you can go and
Which
do
we'll
fingerprints.
leave his stuff up here because
He was very
you, my
helpful.
man, save the trip.
So thankfully we were able to get him in on Thursday, and he scheduled an appointment for today during his lunch break.
Which is today's Friday.
To go to the police department to request a letter saying that he does not have any criminal history.
Letter of clearance. That's what it's called.
Pretty much saying that he's never been arrested and that he doesn't have a criminal record. If you do have criminal records, I think it goes more expensive.
Takes longer. And it takes longer. Yeah. So, funny thing, at the police department, like, that paper needs to be perfect. So, the person that was doing it for me was a trainee, which there's nothing wrong with that. But, like, you know, I was like, okay, you know, I was trying to hurry up during my lunch break. Work's pissed off at me because I left. But, like, she made a few mistakes. So, long story short, she messed up, like, 6 or 7 of those papers. And one of those times, I was almost on my way back, you know, to work. So if I wouldn't have caught that, that would have been something bad, you know. So good thing she caught it. You know, she ended up fixing it. So I have that card. I have the letter and everything. So everything worked out fine. But you do definitely need that fingerprint card
in order to be able to get that. So at this point right now, guys, we are Friday night. We are leaving Wednesday. At this point, I feel like we do have everything that we do need. Eric has an appointment for his medical scheduled already. He has an appointment for his fingerprints already, and he obviously has his scheduled interview for Juarez on Monday. I feel hopeful that everything's gonna go by and we're gonna come back with his visa pretty soon. That is my hopes. I think thus far we've been okay. I am still planning on going to Juarez probably Thursday and getting him no antecedentes penales there. I called today. They told me he doesn't need it because he doesn't live in Mexico, because everything that they do ask is Mexico. They ask you for his
address,
like, yeah, his address and proof of address in order for that to be filled out. And of course he doesn't live there, so we don't have anything. I tried doing it online and I couldn't do it. So
we've seen cases on YouTube from specifically this one girl that they ask her for that, and she responds, I don't have one. My attorney advised me that I don't need one because I have not lived in Mexico you know, after the age of 18, 6 months or, you know, or older or more, you know. So my case is exactly the same. So I left Mexico when I was 7 years old, so I haven't been there since 18. So technically I don't fall into the category that you need that letter. So that's our hope, and if she was able to get her visa, technically I should be able to get my visa. And you know, on the website it does basically say the same thing, but my lawyer is telling me that I should still get it. Which,
and I wish I would have had a little bit more help, because I feel like I don't know a lot of these things, and the people that I'm paying to know don't even know themselves.
Yeah.
And that really does suck, because I don't want worst case scenario to happen. I don't think I've mentioned this, but Eric is going to his interview by himself. They did not ask for me as his wife to be there, which kind of sucks, because I feel like it would have been nice to be there, just kind of in case we need anything. I know what I need.
I feel like she knows more about me than I know about myself, because a lot of the stuff I don't remember, and she has been studying all my files, so she knows everything. So,
but I genuinely feel like we will be okay. I feel like
I'm hoping we're okay.
Whether we get that letter or not, I think we're gonna be okay. And I feel like this last thing sucked that we're at this point right now, and I hope that all of this stress all this week is gonna be worth it once he gets approved with his visa. But we're gonna cut the video here because it's already been probably like an hour of us talking. It's stressful, and we are excited to leave. I haven't been to Juarez in like 8 years, so I'm excited to go back, but I am also nervous as to why we're going. I hope that our next video is of us being there and documenting pretty much his experience with the doctors and stuff. So if you guys are looking forward to seeing those videos, I will leave them linked for you guys once they do come out. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And at the end of the video, I will show the giveaway to my last video. and that's for the gummy bears. So congratulations to you, and I've probably contacted this person by this time now. But like I said, if you guys did like today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and wish us luck.
Wish us luck, guys. And if you guys don't see me on my YouTube channel for a while, just know that I'm in Mexico. But I'll be back, guys.
No, we will be coming back with his visa.
Hopefully. But I'll see you guys all
in my next video,
yeah.
guys.
I don't know if we're going to make this part 2 or part 3. It seems like it might be a few
This is going to be a long
parts.
video, so if you guys got bored, I'm sorry. This is just so much information.
And sorry for ranting about the lawyers, but gosh.
They just get a good lawyer. And
get a good lawyer.
We haven't discussed this on my YouTube channel because I didn't want to come in and 2 years later show another video. I wanted it back to back, so this is why I'm barely talking about this. But like I said, we've been going through this for 3 years now. But if you guys have questions, leave them down below. Don't take any of our information as advice, because we're just talking about
we're just showing our personal experience, our personal hurdles that we had to go through. We'll make a video of, you know,
the situation, how each appointment went,
and how each appointment went, what I personally experienced, and we'll break it down to you more professionally, so that if you're just looking for a video showing you what you need to do, and if you have a similar situation like I do, then hopefully that will be a good video, a good guide for you guys. So you guys are not stressed and are in our situation.
But like I said again, this is all for today's video.
Bye. Okay, it's time.
Look,